chair. Caesar, run the chair. The chair.
Big Boss is here, on table 1.
Big Boss.
Wow. On table 2, we have Ian versus Hans Ian. 1-0 in favor of Ian. Shooting. Hello, shooting. Please come out to show this match, please. Thank you. our people, please welcome our doctor. Member in the building, please go and have your seat, please. On table 1, we have Big Boys versus Jerry. 1-0. Hello.
A very good evening, Africa, once again, as we have our 6th match of the match with just one to go, which shall be the final, and then an ultimate match, which shall be a race of the day between one of the players involved in the competition. But first, we have a semi-final of this competition that has been ongoing now for day number 4 out of 4. We are having live streaming both from Break and Finish Live Facebook, as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube. We are having an all-Ugandan clash, an all-friends clash, and some kind of imaginary repeat of action that happened between 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐬𝐡 and 𝐜𝐿 about 3 days ago, when they had their first money match of the Nigerian tour that is being powered by Big Kills. Now they get to face off in the semi-final of this ongoing tournament. First of all, for the YouTubers, please forgive me for flashy photography. It is because of the source of light in relation to the position of the camera, because the table on which you are watching is not the one on which my tripod was positioned by the start of the action today. But this is just improvisation, and it had to happen in about 3 minutes of the end of the quarterfinal that was ended between Ian and 𝐜𝐿, that Ian won by 5 frames to 4. Now the semi-final has the race increased. It is now race to 7, with Ian having a chance to extend his lead, going for the bank of the red into the center pocket at the top. But difficult it is that it is partially blocked by one of 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧's yellows. It looks very difficult. It has to be pinpoint accuracy getting that red in. The existence of 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧's yellow makes the pocket very, very thin. And Ian could as well opt for a shortcut onto the red, bank it into the corner pocket at the top left. He's going for the center pocket where there is the yellow, maybe corner pocket at the opposite end, which is what he does, but with the intent not to pot, but perhaps to play defense, making it difficult for 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 to pot any ball, if not impossible.
This is DK Blue Clash, first of the kind in Nigeria.
You are watching the Big Kills International Clash. We are coming to you live from the sports gymnasium at the Institute of Sports in Lagos City in Nigeria. The semi-finals of a 64-man comp that happened 4 days ago, and we have been having interludes of money matches in between the comp that will be having a climax after this match. And in the meantime, there is another semi-final where Jeremiah Naidu shall be favorite against the player that is called Big Boss from Nigeria. That one has just started and the score is 0-0. This one is 1-0. The player that is having one could have a chance to win a second. He now has a chance bigger to pot black to the center pocket at the top. If you're watching from Facebook, it is the center pocket left. If you're watching from YouTube, he could go straight, he could go for the bank, either way to the center pocket. He goes for the direct shot and cuts it in and wins the frame and extends his lead. The Grim Reaper 2 and the Scorpion 0, race to 7.
𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 0, race to 7. And on table 1, we have Big Boys 0, Jerry. What a shot from Jerry. Thank you so much, Big.
And making matters worse for the Scorpion, he scratches right at the third frame of the match with a very confident looking Ian having a chance to win what could be his third frame of the match if he can take the frame away and take it away now. A little tricky for him, going either for the yellows or the reds. If you look at the position of the balls, there are two yellows close to two corner pockets diagonally, that is at the bottom right and top left. But also there is a dead yellow frozen near the center, near the top right corner of the table.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you.
This competition, dear viewers, is being powered by Big Kells. It did have the participation of 8 African countries, with the table remaining open now. There was failure of the team from Zimbabwe to make it into Nigeria on time because they did not get the visa application process right, and most especially the players that were affected were included but not limited to Richard Mushobe, the family man. Otherwise, there are 2 Ugandans in participation. Both of them have gotten into the semi-finals and are taking on each other. There is one Malawian, Ginte. There is one South African, Jeremiah Naido, also into the South African. A host of Nigerians and Ghanaians and players from Burkina Faso, with all of Ghanaians and the Burkinabe all out of the competition. An event that has now an audience of just around 500 people or so, who are in one of the biggest indoor sports arenas in this country. This arena has got a lot of history. It has hosted a lot of events, local and international, not limited to basketball, boxing,
this one is soft touch, light one.
Table tennis, tennis itself, netball, amongst others. Those who normally watch action from Uganda, it is a bit similar to the venue that is the MTN Arena where Uganda's National Open Championships happen, but this one is a lot bigger, at least twice bigger. It has a sitting capacity of more than 2,000 people sitting comfortably, and if fans decide to stand, it could be a lot more than that. Now Caesar needs to do a lot more than he has already done, because he's taking on a guy that has more than the ability to win 5 frames out of the remaining 11 to make it into the final of an international competition for the second time this year. Remember, Ian won the Mchana Easter Cup when he beat Tanzania's Amadeus in the final. That tournament represents the only international competition he has won in his career at individual basis. As a team, he is part of the Roxbury team that won the Q Masters International Carnival in Dar es Salaam last year, and he himself was voted most valuable player of the competition. Nowadays, he's one of the most respected players in Ugandan pool, and unofficially, fans and other players across the continent rate him second in the country in terms of current form, second to his current opponent. Whether that one is true or not, I will not interest myself in it. Just want to see where this one goes. Now going for a third. Ian will be playing the yellow that is touching Caesar's red into the diagonal corner pocket at the bottom left. He goes for the bank. Wants to play it into the yellow that is touching the red. Wonderful. And even Caesar, being Caesar, is uploading what Ian has just delivered now. And the game reading and the execution of one beautiful shot has been executed absolutely right. He has now a realistic chance to win the frame and win it now, but has to get the yellow he's looking at on target first into the corner pocket at the bottom left. Cue ball can remain anywhere on table because the other yellows are pretty much take cue ball away. He plays the cue ball into yet another yellow. Very dangerous, the player, demonstrating why I think he could be having the most lethal left hand on the African continent, and with due respect to other left-handers, most notably South Africa's 𝐜𝐥𝐚𝐬𝐡 and Uganda's 𝐜𝐥𝐚𝐬𝐡. Ian's touch is a little too soft in comparison to the other two. He has, however, gotten himself snookered. And maybe 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 will be expecting a chance to play. With all the noise from the fans watching matches on two tables, the match involving Big Boss and Jerry, the match involving Ian and 𝐔𝐠𝐴, with the Nigerian fans most especially concerned about the other, with Ian having to carve cue ball round two reds to try and find his yellow. There he will come and try and carve the cue ball, but it is a foul. He played black first and now knows that most certain than not he will be losing the frame. He will be victim of the penultimate shot he played, failing simply to have sight of the yellow that is close to black, as he played a yellow that was close to the cushion at the top left end of the table, and is taking on the most punishing player of them all, who has found himself 2 frames down against the player that defeated him in the race that he played earlier in the tour, the only player that has gotten victory over 𝐔𝐠𝐴 in the tour of Nigeria so far. 𝐔𝐠𝐴 will not want it if he is to lose to the same player in the same tour, in the same country twice. He will be winning frame number 3, which for him will be the first, and will be putting the black and will be pulling one back. It is 𝐔𝐠𝐴 1 and Ian 2. Nigeria's boss Nigeria's boss is on 2, and South Africa's Jerry is on 1. On the second table, on the one that you're watching, still 2 frames to 1. Ian leading, with 𝐔𝐠𝐴 having a chance to equalize in the affair, and yet there is a chance, should 𝐔𝐠𝐴 win this match, should he come from behind and defeat Ian, we could be having a rematch between 𝐔𝐠𝐴 and Jerry tonight. I'm only kidding. It will not be a rematch in a money match. They could face off in the final of this competition, racing to 9 for $2,500 US. But first, 𝐔𝐠𝐴 has to take down Ian, with Jerry on the verge of beating boss. It is 𝐔𝐠𝐴 who is going for an equalizer here. He will be playing red into the center pocket at the left. It is the center pocket at the bottom from the Facebook stream. He plays white into yellow with a statement of intent that his intent on equalizing in the match, and equalizing now and the rest is a formality. 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 2 and Ian 2.
Let it clean up from 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧. 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 2, Ian 2. On table 1, Jerry Banda 5, Big Base 1. It's not over yet.
For those that are watching from the YouTube stream, accept my apologies for missing a few seconds of the match. I had a network glitch. You did not watch the start of the frame. You definitely watched the very end of it. You witnessed Caesar taking the lead for the first time in the match. It is now Caesar 3 and Ian 2. The score is 3 frames to 2. And of course, this match has a little bit of history that dates back to exactly 7 days ago today. Before setting off for Lagos, I did stream a competition that was organized in the town of Entebbe in Uganda, the venue that is called Laban's Arena. And the comp was won by Caesar, who in the semi-finals defeated Ian before beating Simon in the final to claim what was a second event in the space of 2 days to set off for Lagos with the best way possible to be ready. He was to have Ian as an opponent in the first round of money match action between himself and 4 BKL's players, with others being Jerry, Shewu and 𝐜𝐿𝐴. And Ian, on the day that was Wednesday this week, he became a club of about 4 players that have defeated Caesar in a money match from his own mother country. The others being Ibra, who has defeated Caesar once out of 4 attempts. The other in a long race being Dog City, who defeated Caesar once in a race to 16, a sponsored race it was though. And the other who defeated Caesar from Uganda, a long race in which it was Computer in the ATA Super 8-man comp that was played on double elimination basis earlier this year, with Ian being the 4th. Something that Caesar may have taken a little bit serious, conditioning Jerry after Caesar defeating Jerry yesterday, with Jerry demanding for a rematch, with Jerry's manager demanding for a rematch, with Caesar conditioning them to having a rematch between himself and all 𝐔𝐿's players and not Jerry. And this I can tell you, Ian immediately availed himself for the rematch in case Caesar was interested. But 𝐜𝐿𝐴 has up to now not made up his mind to rematch with Caesar. That is why the rematch with Jerry is up to now not yet confirmed. And as a matter of news, Jeremiah Naido will play in the final because he has defeated Nigeria's number 2 ranked player T-Boss by 7 frames to 1. And if Caesar wins this match, if he races to 7 earlier than Ian, he will have Jerry as an opponent in the final, in some kind of a conclusion of a trilogy of rematch of action between Caesar, Jerry and 𝐜𝐿𝐴, with Caesar having beaten 𝐜𝐿𝐴 already, with him having beaten Jerry yesterday, with him taking on Ian now. And yet if he wins against Ian, he may face off against Jerry in the final. And the only player that could block that is Ian. What Ian is trying to do is defeat Caesar twice in the space of 4 days, and then set up an all 𝐔𝐿's clash, which could be imperative in a competition that has been powered and organized by 𝐔𝐿's. It is the Grim Reaper trying to utilize a miss by Caesar. Apologies for the movement of the fans right across the arena, getting Ian's concentration in a lapse. But now he recovers, going for a move going for a visit, going for a clearance, intent on equalizing in the match where he was led by 2 frames to 0 and then found himself trailing after losing 3 frames in quick succession to his friend, with whom now they become rivals, at least for the course of the tour of Nigeria. Ian will be having 3 red support now. You fancy that he will, with Caesar only having to wait and watch and pray, with Ian going for an equalizer in the semi-final of the 2 that has been more awaited than the other. The Ugandan Grim Reaper will have to port both reds to the corner pocket at the top right. If you're watching from YouTube, it is the bottom right. If you're watching from Facebook, and the rest is a formality.
No be power, na skill, no be strength.
Ian Kazibe 3 and Caesar Chandiga 3.
On 32, we have Caesar versus Ian. This player from Uganda, 3-3 all. The winner of this game will be joining Jerry for the final game on TV1.
Yeah, it will be Jerry for final. Yeah, will be Jerry for final. Yeah, Jerry will be right now, 7-1. Yeah, the chance, right? The chance. There's one chance.
That is the class of the Scorpion. Sometime you just want to see him in trouble, because every time he's in trouble, that is when he pulls off such shots a little magical, like that one. He will have to put red by red drive into the corner pocket at the bottom right, then play white off the cushion with the big right spin, draw it off the left side of the table. He wants to put black to the center pocket, maybe off Ian's red, in what looks like the best clearance of the shot so far. It will go in off Ian's yellow for the Scorpion to gain the lead, and it's in. That one is way better in terms of what was expected of the Scorpion, and it is 4-3 Caesar leading race to 7. This one will be the fourth time that Ian is breaking in a match that is now being played at a very, very high level. Of course, the level that represents the abilities of both players. The left-hander breaks by hitting the pyramid. He scratches. There is no prize for guessing what is on the verge of happening. Not so many times does it happen for a break to be that big, for the Scorpion to have a free shot, and for the opponent to have another visit of the same frame. And as a matter of fact, should 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 win this match, should he win 3 more before Ian can win 4 of the remaining 6, then we shall have 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 versus Jerry in the final. Now streaming to 3,000 people combined on Break and Finish Live Facebook as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube. Once again, thank you, Africa, for the kind of loyalty to these streams and these players, and with all due humility sometimes to myself, it really makes it all worth it. The effort, the organization challenges that it has, the restlessness that comes along with it, the movement that comes with a lot of challenge and a lot of difficulty, and then seeing you respond with such positivity. You are such a very big source of inspiration to myself, and you are the reason why these tournaments are even organized in the first place, because yes, every time that you come to these streams, now, dear viewers, there is a foul. Now, this I can tell you, there was a little bit of double stroking by 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧, but I can tell you the umpire did not see it, neither did Ian, neither with any of the fans at the venue or some of us as part of the organizing team. 𝐔𝐠𝐴 came to me and told me that I feel that I may have fouled. Please have a relook at the video. When the video was relooked at, it was indeed proven that the foul was there. And that is what makes him a very special player. Even when the stakes are too high, he can afford to report himself. That is sportsmanship of the highest order. Ian will want to take the advantage. Of course, the game remains the game. Competition remains competition. For Ian, it is a chance to take the frame away, to utilize the opportunity given by the sportsman of the day, maybe sportsman of the competition, in a rare moment with a lot at stake. Ian gets himself snookered, at least partially. He will hope to have sight of one of the two yellows touching each other. Perhaps he does, but needs a little curve. He does spot any contact between white and yellow was taking one of the yellows in. And when 𝐔𝐠𝐴 reported himself having fouled, Ian did play black into yellow to set the black. a statement that his intention was to take the frame down and take it down now. He has his work cut out. Clearly the yellow that is closest to the bottom of the screen on the right should be the ball to be played first. Maybe the one near the center pocket right next. If he does have a cut into the yellow, which is in the middle of the table, he will be creating a problem with the position play of white. And he knows that more than anybody else. But maybe he realizes there is space between black and the jaw of the corner pocket. He's going for a sharp cut of the yellow into the center pocket. This one will involve a lot of accuracy, not just the potting, but also manipulation of white. Also has to avoid contact between white and scissors reds, which he does. Plays white into yellow and splits it open in a very good move that is having a lot of appraisal from the fans, with Ian one of the players that are so far the revelation of the show. The player that beat Caesar in a money match that was played first 4 days ago could be the same player to beat Caesar in the competition in its semi-finals. He will be putting the last yellow, to the corner pocket where he potted the previous, and then the black, and then the frame, and then the equalizer. The Grim Reaper pounces. Ian 4 and Caesar 4. Race to 7.
Are you entertained?
What are Ugandans very calm in here? Very calm, they don't talk, they don't laugh. Why are they like that? It's a job. It's a job.
It is now Chandigarh Caesar 5 and Kazibwe Ian 4. A race to 7. 4 frames to go. Ian needing 3, Caesar needing 2 for a chance to take on Jerry in a very, very well-awaited final. Now this will be Ian breaking. The break is fair. He has gotten to pot. Yellow and red leaves the cue ball a little too tricky, with one idea in mind: win the frame by break and finish to equalize again and turn the semi-final into a race to 2. Here he goes, going for the reds, wanting to cut the red into the corner pocket top right. It's in. It is now Ian playing the reds. 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 on the yellows, but we'll want the player on the yellows not to visit the table whatsoever. But it will be very difficult because of the position of one of the reds touching 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧's yellow near the center pocket at the left. Also consider the position of the black if Ian is to go for the frame, and go for it now. He's hitting the chalk in the base of the table with a little bit of power, a sign of frustration. And you imagine that with 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 seeing Ian's body language, he will become more calm and more confident that the player I'm taking on is losing a little bit of his concentration. In a match of very fine margins because of the quality of both of the players. And by the way, from the year last year, Ian is the player that gave 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 the hugest amount of difficulty in all the matches that they played. I streamed 4 times this left-hander, beating 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 in 4 competitions, and 2 of the 4 last year were actual competition finals. One of them a 2-day 64-man comp, another a 1-day 32-man competition, and 2 other times when Ian beat 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 in earlier stages of tournaments. He's played himself a little bit unlucky, as his intention was to play white into red to split the black open. He almost, by the way, committed suicide, as we call it in slang language, in pool potting black prematurely. He leaves black packed at the corner pocket at the top right, but there is one of his reds right behind, and he has very thin white with only sight of one of his reds, and that sight is only partial. That is the red that is bottomwards near the center pocket at the left, and then he has a red which is pretty much a dead ball right behind the black. But he does pot. By the way, there is some space between the position of the black and the jaw of that corner pocket for Ian to pass his red, but has to be bigly on target because of the risk that involves potting black prematurely. He wants to utilize that very thin space to open up the corner pocket and pass his red, and does so, but not really so, because while he has gotten to pot, black is still positioned in front of another of his reds. This will make 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 even more confident that he will have a chance at least to play. You fancy that Ian may want to pot the red that is rightwards of the 2, and then play a safety that is hide the white with a little touch of the red near the black, slice white off the red, hide it behind the black in what will be a safety. But first, to play that shot, he has to pot, and pot he does, and is going for the safety of all safeties. He really wants to play as though he's listening to the commentator with a minimal energy, a little kiss of white on red to hide white behind both red and black to snooker 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 totally, and does so, but not so well. He used a little too much power with 𝐔𝐠𝐴 snookered, but finding the angle will not be so much difficult because Ian was not accurate with his safety. Off the cushion came the Scorpion, finding one of his yellows and snookering Ian partially. And Ian could be fighting a losing battle if he loses this frame, which does provide him a chance to equalize, but the chance is now so thin. with us having 2 more matches after this, one of them the final of this tournament. Remember, 𝐜𝐿𝐴 defeated Nigeria's 𝐷 by 7 frames to 1 in the other semi-final, so the winner shall take him on in the final, which is coming up tonight, racing tonight, and thereafter the last match of the day, which is some kind of dessert if you are to consider this as food, the last money match of the tour between 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 and 𝐜𝐿𝐴, Nigeria's finest player. Now there comes Ian. All he did was to play his red in space and hope for hope and hope for luck. 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 responds to Ian's safeties with a safety that should be on the verge of giving him the frame. Given the position of the yellows of 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧, you just think that whether or not Ian finds the red, unless he pots, it may count for nothing. He wants to come off the left cushion, play white into red with power, and hope that he pots to the corner pocket at the top left of the screen. He misses the red, white finds the pocket. It is a scratch. It is a chance for 𝐔𝐠𝐚𝐧 to win a 6th, which will be a frame that puts him on the verge of making it into the final of an international competition for the 2nd time this year, considering the final of the Africa 𝐜𝐵 Open that he reached when he played against Britain's Jack Whelan in the semi-finals, one of the biggest tournaments he has ever won in his career. He will be potting red. Ian will be conceding the frame. It is 𝐔𝐠𝐴 6 and Ian 4. 3 frames to go. Ian must win them all or else succumb to playing 3rd place match between himself and Nigeria's 𝐷. Matches that are watched this big normally come as closing stages of money matches between 2 big players, but now I can confirm that we are just about 3,500 combined watching from Break and Finish Facebook as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube, with a lot more hundreds watching the same action as its audio is being shared with 𝐿𝐴 Photography, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you very much, Africa. As Ian closes the table, he does not close the table. Confidence is absolutely low. And it became evident about 10 or so minutes ago when he was playing as though throwing his hands around the table. It is always a sign of lack of confidence from the players, a sign of frustration, a sign that things are not going on with them, most especially in the mind. And remember, this game is played in the mind, sometimes even more than it's played in the hands. The chance comes for 𝐔𝐠𝐴 to take the frame down and the match down once and for all. Playing to make it into the final, which he will want to fight for. To fight for more $2,500 to add to the $2,500 that he won in profit after defeating Jerry about 24 hours ago. If he wins this frame, he will have another date against Jerry tonight, and yet he still has another date against 𝐷 the same night. He's playing as though intending to serve Africa with a match against Jerry, with the condition he gave for that rematch was to have action first between himself and Ian, as well as 𝐷𝐚𝐜. With 𝐷𝐚𝐜 out, it looks like the tournament is serving us with 𝐶𝐠𝐴 versus Ian, and then 𝐶𝐠𝐴 versus Jerry later. With him manipulating cue ball perfectly, the yellow close to black is to be played into the corner pocket at the bottom right, and it's played with perfection. And Ian knows that his participation in the Big Kills tour of Nigeria has come to a scorpion end. This one is 𝐶𝐠𝐴 paying sweet revenge against his friend, but what will matter for him is to make it into the final. He will be potting black to the side pocket right. If you're watching from YouTube, it is the side pocket bottom. If you're watching from Facebook, as the scorpion pots black for the second time, and now stings his way in the final, where Jerry will be awaiting him. Thank you very much. That will mark the end of the semi-finals. It is 𝐶𝐠𝐴 defeating Ian by 7 frames to 4, setting up a dream final against Jeremiah Naido. Thank you for watching Africa. See you in the final in 5 minutes.